Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. Let's talk about Hollow Knight Silksong again. A game that is absolutely exploding all over the internet. Over 500,000 concurrent players. I think it's almost hitting 600,000 concurrent players over on Steam, which is kind of a strange thing because, well, it's on Game Pass, day and date. Free. Absolutely free. You have those in the Jack Sparrow community saying, "Nah, just go ahead and buy the game." No, really, you should go buy the game because it's fun, the Metroidvania style of it. I started playing the original Hollow Knight, and I'm having fun. I'm having a blast. So I'm gonna go back to play that after I finish recording this video, but I digress. It's also causing a bit of a stir over in China with the localization and the localization. Chinese purchasers are not happy with it. That's not what this video is about, but it's creating quite the stir. And one that I definitely was not expecting is indie devs and, of course, the usual suspects in journalists that you don't hate enough getting upset about the price tag. What? How can you tell? Oh no, let's go with something better. I'll take anti-customer rhetoric on a video game website for 500, Alex. Thank you very much. How can you be against a $20 price tag? But it took 7 years to make. It was only the... Okay. So who decides what the price tag is for these games? I believe it's usually the publisher. And being an independent publisher, well, Team Cherry decided to drop it at a $20 price tag. I've also heard of a 10 to 15 hour completion time. Well, 10 to 15 hours for a $20 price tag, especially for a video game, seems pretty darn spanky to me. Seems pretty good. But apparently $20 price tag, there's some out there that believe it could absolutely hurt the indie scene. What? The price tags that are going to hurt the video game industry, the $80, $90, $100 price tags that is put out by the AAA or Ubisoft's quadruple A stacks of garbage, buggy messes crashing in inoperable video games with nonsensical stories and poor mechanics. That does more damage to the industry than a fantastic side-scroller castle or Metroidvania game such as Silksong. Oh no, the price is too low. Why are you letting someone else's price tag dictate what you want to price your project as? But let's see. This is coming from Destructoid right here. Silksong will be priced at $20. It's out. It's a fact. We already know it is. And there's a whole bunch. It's not just one or two little silent or vocal minorities talking about this. There's quite a few of them out there. Feels low for how long it's been in development. Really? Time spent? I don't know. Maybe quality, passion, how much the development team at Team Cherry, I believe, what they think it's worth, regardless of the amount of time. So the longer it takes to develop something in the video game industry, the higher the price should be. Tell that to the people who bought Star Wars Outlaws and, can hardly play the buggy mess that it is. $200 million budget, 10, 7, 8, 9 years to make with a $70, $90, $120 price tag and missions locked behind a paywall. Is that worth it? Developer Team Cherry could have charged $30, but they didn't. Or even $40, but they didn't. And still sold millions of copies. But they did sell millions of copies because of how beloved the original Hollow Knight is, not to mention how much hype players have had for Silksong since 2019. But apparently, like I said, people are a little upset coming in from Lone Fungus, Basti Art Games. As a dev, making a smaller Metroidvania game than Silksong, which I originally thought would be fairly priced at $20. If you think it's fairly priced at $20, I'm not ready for you yet. If you believe your game is fairly priced at $20, price it at $20. Seriously. It'll be 10 to 15 hours of game, okay? If you put your hard work and passion into it, price it at $15 to $20. Price it at $20. I can't afford to give the game away for free. Who's saying give the game away for free? where is this coming from? This free? No. What else we got in the article? New and smaller indie devs may think players will compare their game's price to Silksong. I have some unfortunate news for you, but you will never, regardless of the price tag, regardless of how much time you spend on it, people will compare your game to something else that was successful. That is inevitable. It is unavoidable. You just, good idea. Said this a few times. Let's start saying it again. I say that anyway. Make it fun first, fucker. Put your game out there. Set a reasonable price. And go from there. Hopefully word of mouth, if it's fun, if you made it fun first, word of mouth can carry your game into the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of sales, if you're really, really lucky. If it's anything close to $20, people would say, and they're going to say it anyway, even if it's priced at $20, they're going to say something like this. This game isn't Silksong, so $20 is too much. If I remember correctly, I saw a post. A developer, the original developers of Hollow Knight posted their game onto Reddit, and Reddit responded by shitting all over it, over and over and over again. Oh, another 2D side scroller in a saturated market of 2D side scrollers. You're just gonna fail. Throw it in the trash. Negative, 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 negative. It's unavoidable. They decided to keep pushing forward, and look where they are now. Almost 600,000 people playing it on Steam concurrently. My goodness, the game is free on Game Pass. Imagine if they'd have listened to Reddit. If devs believe their game is competing with Silksong across the board, including price, that could lead to giving up. Then they weren't passionate about their project in the first place. Or, as has happened, delaying their games to avoid a release near that of Silksong. Well, Silksong's already out, so you don't have to delay it. Go put it out in a month or two. Just go do it. Depending on how far it spreads, the ripples could reach throughout the indie scene and cause quite a bit of damage. Now, you may think this is hyperbolic, overreaction and everything, but no. Starting over here, can't remember who this is. This is coming from Permaband and... Yes. Permaband and... Who else? Legacy Killer. Doing a little bit of the clipping and make it easy for all of us to check out. Hollow Knight, Silksong's cheap price, a problem for other indie games. Why? There's indie games that are priced at $4, $10, $30. Devs and publishers weigh in on its impact. Are you scared? Do you not have faith in your product? Team Cherry absolutely had the responsibility of giving a heads up about the release of Silksong. No, they didn't. I disagree. 100%. And accommodating other indie devs in regards to it. Why? They don't have a responsibility to anyone but themselves and their customers. Perhaps if you put that much passion into the work that you're putting out there, you wouldn't have to worry about another game. Or, if you are worried about the game, just wait. Wait for it to come out. Release it ahead of time. If you know it's not coming out right away, just put it out there. But to think that Team Cherry needs to accommodate other indie... That's like saying Rockstar should be letting people know they should accommodate people for the release of Grand Theft Auto 6. FaceTime over here. I can't be the only person, well, unfortunately, you're not the only person, who thinks it's kind of messed up. I'm going to say fucked up, whatever. It's kind of fucked up for Silksong to reveal its release date so late. Why? They weren't ready to put it out. They were having too much fun. They were tweaking everything. I believe they did say they were having too much fun playing the game. Like, man, you're indie developers. Yeah. You should understand the struggle that studios go through. And yet there are so many studios out there that say, hey, they'd put their game out there for, you know, a few dollars. Joseph Moran over here, I think Silksong's 2-week PR push has done some damage to other indie studios. Well, perhaps those studios were already damaged. Maybe you thought about that. There's more, and more, and more. We can celebrate Silksong's price point and understand that everything surrounding the game, its development, circumstances, success, and expectations, is an anomaly. Because, much like Baldur's Gate 3, you should not expect this sort of price point and this sort of entertainment from a $20 game. You shouldn't expect everything that Baldur's Gate 3 did. Went through the same nonsense. Just make your game, set your price point, and go from there. Biggest, massive quality indie games like Deltarune and Silksong coming out for extremely cheap just sets keep the bar at a level where any indie game developer that doesn't have a giant smash hit can barely scrape by. Okay, not everyone is going to be a massive success like, oh, I don't know, Schedule 1 or Deltarune, Silksong, Hollow Knight. Of course, not every single indie game out there is going to be a massive success taken over by a streaming content creator and blowing up overnight. But if you work on making your game fun, putting it out there to the masses at a reasonable price, then you have the chance, you have the opportunity. Raise the price of your next game and actually profit. Oh, you sweet summer child, Silksong is doing nothing but profit. That's the whole difference. You're acting like indie developers are the same as the AAA studios and they have to set a certain price because they have a sizable team. And if they don't put the price high enough, $40, $50, $60, even though it's an indie game, short-term, different non-realistic graphic style, that it's not going to make a profit. Yet, here we go, Silksong, again, Schedule 1, Vampire Survivor, very, very simple games that have turned massive profits. Oh, we already saw that one. He's an idiot. 2-week PR push, but wait, there's more. Team Cherry confirms all indie devs selling their game for over $20 will be... What? KZ, you need help. Eurogamer. Is a cheap price a problem? No, it's not. But Polygon gets in on it. All the usual suspects across the gaming industry getting in on the act. Gaming industry deserves more lead time before Silksong. No, it doesn't. No. Release your game. Announce your game. Release it. There have been so many games out there that have announced, hey, the game's coming out today. Like, you need a better lead time than that? Honestly, should cost $40. Guess what? It's not. I won't go so far as to say it's bad. It doesn't. But it will have effects. And not all of those effects are good. I'm personally glad it's so cheap. But for me, personally, it makes picking it up a no-brainer. Well, it made picking it up for a lot of people a no-brainer. Because when you have a low price point, that's where you make your money. Just a thought. The problem is that the gamer is a creature Wait, what? Hold on. I mixed up this entire sentence. The gamer is a creature very bad at knowing why things cost what they do. No. You should give gamers a little bit more credit. Credit? Oh, Lord, I said it. Silksong should cost at least 30. I guess that's euros. Don't care. And it sucks that indies still devalue themselves. The biggest indie game of the year being less than $20 makes, or 20 euros, whatever, 50 pence, makes it hard for anyone else to price themselves at a level that's sustainable. I don't know what to do with some of these things, but wait, there's more. Should cost $40, not even joking. Don't care what you say. Should cost that. Did I not go far enough on this one? 80-hour game does not belong in the $20 price category. Wait, Silksong is an 80-hour game? Are y'all serious? I thought Jason Schreier said he just finished it in under an hour. Us indies with 20-hour games really need that space for healthy expectations. Well, Domo, soda-powered penguin, just make a good game, and your audience will decide. They've done it again, setting a price lower than most titles of comparable quality, complexity, and scope. Cool. While it's certainly generous for players, which is who they care about, and that's maybe you should care about your players as well, which is honestly nice. Yes, thank you. Thank you for seeing that, Deep Nut Games. It also raises the bar. Why should you let that affect you? Make your game, put it out there for the price point that you think is reasonable, and accept the consequences. If it's good, people will buy it. Gonna be truly challenging for other indie devs. Team Charlie absolutely had the responsibility of giving a heads up. No, they didn't. Read all that stuff already. It's a whole bunch of nonsense over and over again with an industry that, instead of concerning themselves and treating their customers right, they're more concerned about what the value and the price point of a game is going to do to their games. Maybe you should worry about what the price point and the value of your game is going to do to your customers. Make it fun first. Make an entertaining game. Go from there, much like Team Cherry did. And apparently they did it twice. I'll be checking out the game very soon. I'm going to play a little bit more Hollow Knight before I get into Silksong. And, well, let me know what you think about this whole debacle. It's a very strange debate over the price and what it's going to affect, how it's going to affect indie devs. But there we go. That's all I've got. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike, do all those nifty little things as YouTube beg you to do. And, you know, with YouTube throttling just about apparently everybody's screwing up the algorithm for everybody, go ahead and, hey, why don't you share this out there and hit all those nifty little buttons that maybe I won't lose so many subscribers every single week. Anyway, have a good one.